Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando and Johnny DiLoretto. Listen to shows every Thursday at 8:01 p.m. and full shows online at WCBE.org. I'm John DeSando.
I'm Johnny DiLoretto.
And this is Cinema Classics.
Indeed.
And I noticed on Netflix, don't tell me how I knew this, that you didn't quite finish your Adam Sandler murder mystery show.
That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff on Netflix I don't finish.
All right. Well, then let's look at the guy. If he's going to stand up to scrutiny.
I hear myself saying this frequently over the years, is that I didn't like this guy, and now I love this guy.
Okay.
Adam Sandler was a part of the SNL cast that came after every generation has their cast, right? He came post Eddie Murphy, and so I didn't really see the appeal. I never saw any of those early movies like Billy Madison until much later. Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore.
Right.
The
Waterboy.
Waterboy. Yeah.
Waterboy.
I didn't see those until later.
Okay.
So he does Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah, boy.
What year was that?
That was 2002.
Okay. And then I got it.
Yeah.
And that was a great...
You're picking the best Adam Sandler.
Right. Well, I don't know.
Oh, really? So tell me what you would...
Yeah, well, first of all, let's say this. Paul Thomas Anderson directed him in Punch Drunk Love, and I thought that was going to change his career. I thought we were going to see Adam Sandler do more interesting things, attempt to, push...
Sure.
The
pushed him
envelope
into
of his
great ones
persona.
like 50 First Dates.
Yeah, right. He didn't do
What
any
do
of
you
it.
think about choices?
He totally defied everybody's expectations by going right back to the junky crap that he was famous for.
And that's where my difficulty is with him.
Yeah.
I'm still coming to terms with him as a great actor.
Okay.
I do get his boy man persona.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to move away, if I can just judge from Murder Mystery.
Yeah.
He's more of a toss-off lines guy, less silly.
Right. Yeah, and nuanced in a lot of ways. And what's interesting is over the past, 5 years or so, he's found this whole second act of his career on Netflix. Netflix keeps producing these and they're terrible for the most part, but he's also just engaging.
Yeah.
And I have found myself sitting through a number of these movies just on the strength of his charisma alone.
Well, I'll tell you, what won me over to Adam Sandler, and that's not like a big over, I'm just won over, is I saw a couple of films of his, can't tell you what films they were, in which he had sequences with kids.
Yeah.
And I thought he was brilliant with the kids. He allowed the kids to come out in the scene. He didn't dominate. He was drawing them out like he was a super talk show host.
Yeah.
I just saw some real smarts in this actor.
Yeah.
Mark, what do you think?
He's very talented when he tries. When he actually puts the effort in, he actually is very, very talented.
Yeah, I think he's very talented. Just to list a couple of my favorites. Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's a good choice.
I think it is a totally underrated movie. It's bizarre. It's kind of edgy, and I love it because it's so over the top weird. The premise of it is weird. The execution of it is weird. There are some. It has some of my favorite stuff in it. Just silly comedy wise over the years. And then recently. He returned to stand-up, and he's got a stand-up special on Netflix that is one of the best stand-up specials I've seen.
All right, good. I'm going
in
to
the past few years.
That's a good tip.
He approaches it really differently. It's kind of like it's in 3 parts, but it cross-cuts back and forth from him returning to a small nightclub, then a medium-sized engagement, and then a sort of like arena-sized performance. And and you just see some of the same material delivered in those different venues, but it's cohesive. He does a lot of music stuff in it, and his brand of comedy is genuinely funny still. It's one of his finest, I think, moments in the past decade.
Well, I think similarly for me, Jerry Seinfeld, going back constantly to stand-up. and you say to yourself, why a man who's worth at least $500 million, why does he need to do this? It's a kind of chrysalis in those places.
Yeah.
It really spawns greatness to confront people in a situation like that. So I really admire it, and I think I hear exactly what you're saying. Now, tell me about Mr. Deeds. There's one I don't know anything about.
It's a stupid remake
Longfellow
of Mr.
Deeds?
Yeah,
is
it's
it
a remake of Mr. Deeds.
And I asked
Goes
it
to
because
Town.
of Capra.
Yeah. I mean, you don't ever need to look at it.
All right, what about, then two others I just got to ask you. The Wedding Singer and Happy Gilmore.
Okay, well,
Those are 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember, I've only seen them a couple times. My boys have started to, a couple of years ago they were watching a lot of the early Adam Sandler stuff. And I enjoyed what I saw. Happy Gilmore is still very funny.
Yeah.
The Wedding Singer I can't speak to. But
okay. Well, it's instructive to know what people in the industry think about him. And in the early 2000s, he was considered for Willy Wonka, and he was considered for the taxi driver in Collateral.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, see, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. And it's an indication that there are producers out there and directors out there who have confidence in him.
Yeah.
Well, there is a dark side to Adam Sandler's persona, even his comedy persona, which I think Paul Thomas Anderson really exploited to great effect in Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
He's got this seething kind of rage underneath, right? This kind of masculine, toxic masculine anger.
Yes.
But it's in Punch Drunk Love. It's great because it's tempered by this neurosis. He's totally, he's almost incapable of social interaction.
Oh, I know.
Without great anxiety, which is what's beautiful about that performance and about the romance there at the center of it.
And I think it reminds me that it's actresses like Jennifer Aniston that seem always to be asking him, Adam, why don't you grow up in their roles together? Then the guy is sitting there knowing that they want him to grow up, and he's just not about ready to do that. And it is certainly part of his charm. Yeah. And as we have seen, and I remember seeing him in the Meyerowitz stories.
Yeah, that's another
more serious stuff. That he's capable of doing it.
Opposite Dustin Hoffman.
Yes. All right, Adam Sandler.
Not to be dismissed. In fact, you should go back, make sure you see his stand-up special on Netflix.
Yeah.
If you want a lighthearted romp, murder mystery.
Yeah.
And if you really want to see his genius at full tilt, don't mess with the Zohan. 1 p.m.
Or Jack and Jill.